Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Okay, so I started this project last semester, and I actually have quite a few projects that I just never did a proper voiceover for because honestly, y'all, I was feeling real burnt out on the internet. Sometimes it really does feel like you're just shouting into the void. But like, I made some really cool stuff last semester. So this is a project that I never did like a proper talkie walkie through. So I'm making a melting clock. So this is literally my first excursion into welding. I am learning how to use all these power tools for the first time. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't like to measure, but I just cut. I just cut things and I just tried to figure out what it was. And 90% of these cuts didn't work out the way I wanted them to. I know these look pretty even. They're not. They're really not. That hole, not where it needs to be. This piece was probably the only thing that I somehow made the right shape for the most part, but as you can see, it is much too long. So while I got to be Wolverine for a minute, I did have to cut that down. And now we're getting into welding. So here's the thing about welding, okay? This is called the MIG welder, which we ended up moving to the MIG. So I did try to do like a regular acetylene, which is like you're weaving two pieces of metal together, but the MIG welder basically creates this like liquid metal, and you have to wear this huge headpiece, right? And I basically couldn't see anything. So I am doing all of this completely and utterly blind. I have almost no idea what I'm doing. You're using that tiny pinpoint of light to figure out what you're doing. And I did happen to make some 42s. If anybody knows what that is a reference to, thank you. People that don't know, it is in fact the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So I'm sorry if you weren't aware of that. This is super cool, and this is one of those things where sometimes you just need to learn when to stop. And I knew when I did this blowtorch thing and it looked so shiny, I should have just stopped there. It looked so cool. It would have been an awesome wall piece. But the thing is this is based off of Salvador Dali, and Dali is known for his melting clocks. So I wanted it to look very melting, and I did want it to, in fact, bend off the table. I thought that was really funny. It does make it more of a sculptural piece. It is no longer functional, although it is functional. I did make it a functional clock. That was what that whole piece was for. So like it technically can tell time. It's just unfortunately all of the times are 42. And this is another one of those things why I didn't post this project earlier, because I bent it, because it lost that beautiful patina sheen. I ended up like changing, like that gold looks good on camera, but it looked like shit in person. It just looked super cheap. And because of the weird angle of the table, it just looks like shit.